There is a very thin line between elite competitive fire and a season-altering liability, and the Indiana Fever are currently walking that tightrope at maximum speed. Welcome back to WNBA First. The Indiana Fever just completely dismantled the Connecticut Sun in a jaw-dropping 123-88 blowout. But nobody is talking about the final score. The entire basketball world is currently hyper-focused on a single, four-word trash talk moment that resulted in Caitlin Clark picking up her 7th technical foul of the 2026 season, placing her directly on the brink of an automatic league suspension. The setup for this moment was as dramatic as it was absurd. With just 29 seconds remaining in the third quarter, Indiana was holding a commanding 95-67 lead. The blowout was complete, the game was effectively over, and Connecticut was on its way to its 9th double-digit loss of the year. After drawing a foul from center Olivia Nelson-Ododa, Clark was approached by Sun guard Saniya Rivers. Rivers, a second-year player out of North Carolina State whose team holds a 7-20 record, walked directly up to the best player on the floor and declared that she was locking her up.
Big shots at Caitlin Clark on Threads. Y'all are so emotional. That is why I said the WNBA should have made mandatory media training and social media etiquette for players. Saniya Rivers is running around acting like a victim to Caitlin Clark on Threads, and it's freaking disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. We got Nancy Armour doubling down on that trash-ass hit piece she wrote in the USA. She wrote a trash hit piece.
Think about the sheer audacity of that moment. You are trailing by 28 points with less than 30 seconds left in the frame, and you walk up to a superstar who already has a double-double on your head and claim you are shutting her down. Clark didn't hesitate. She looked at Rivers, pointed her finger directly at the arena rafters, and delivered 4 lethal words. "Look at the scoreboard." The referees immediately intervened and assessed double technical fouls to both players. Clark calmly stepped to the line, sank her free throws from the original foul, and finished her night with 27 points and 11 assists in just 27 minutes of action. But while the Fever celebrated a 35-point victory, that whistle pushed Clark's season technical count to 7, triggering massive alarm bells across the Indiana front office. Is a double technical foul in a 28-point blowout an example of necessary game management? Or did the officials needlessly escalate a standard competitive exchange?
On Saniya Rivers, it was a no call, right? It was a no call. Now when Saniya Rivers, they called a foul on Caitlin Clark, but when Saniya Rivers does it, they didn't call a foul on her. And it was literally like back-to-back plays. So it started with the WNBA's trash refs once again. And then this led to a back and forth. This led to a back and forth between Caitlin Clark. Saniya Rivers started it. Saniya Rivers walks up on Caitlin Clark. "Yeah, I was locking you."
When Rivers arrived at the post-game press conference, she was asked point blank if she regretted instigating the verbal battle during a massive blowout. Rivers didn't flinch, stating clearly that she didn't care if the Sun were down by 50 points. It was a matter of pride, and she refused to give an inch. On one hand, you have to respect a competitor who refuses to back down regardless of the score. On the other hand, Clark's decision to answer the challenge came with a heavy cost. This 7th technical foul carries massive institutional significance for the Fever. Head coach Stephanie White publicly acknowledged before the game that she was planning to have a direct conversation with Clark about her technical foul accumulation. After technical number 6, White noted that they had discussed the trend and planned to address it moving forward. Yet, before that planned conversation could even take hold, Clark picked up number 7 in the third quarter of a 35-point blowout.
Caitlin Clark's technical foul needs to be rescinded by the league immediately. Okay, but this is all started by Saniya Rivers. Guess what happens after? You guessed it. Saniya Rivers runs to social media playing victim. Runs to social media playing victim, all on Threads. "Girl, I don't give a F if we're down by 50. I'm never tolerating disrespect." She disrespected you because she said, "Look at the scoreboard"? You started talking trash, just like Tiffany Hayes did, and then y'all run to the internet and play.
The pattern of these technicals paints a clear picture of Clark's relentless intensity this season. Technical 1 came back in April during the preseason. Technical 2 arrived in the opening month. Technical 3 occurred during the Valkyries matchup, following the Logo 3 exchange with Tiffany Hayes. Technical 4 and 5 came during a grueling stretch against the Mercury, leading right into Technical 6 in late June and now Technical 7 against Rivers. 7 technical fouls in approximately 25 games is not a random coincidence. It reflects a generational player competing with maximum edge who is increasingly unwilling to absorb physical contact or verbal disrespect without immediately firing back. But with the automatic suspension threshold looming dangerously close, can the Fever afford for their primary playmaker to miss a crucial late-season game over a verbal exchange in a game already won? What makes this team so lethal right now is that even when Clark is navigating high-stress emotional moments, the supporting cast around her is operating at absolute peak cohesion.
This is the paragraph he's referring to when she said it shouldn't need reminding this country has an awful history of black people being harmed, even killed in the name of defending white women. The WNBA's All-Star game this weekend is in Chicago, Emmett Till's hometown, and a local art gallery is currently hosting an exhibit imagining his life if he hadn't been lynched. While it's incumbent on the WNBA to do more to protect its players, there also should be an expectation on Clark to recognize the wider consequences of her actions. The fact that she tried to make that comparison is disgusting, and it's ridiculous.
While the media focuses entirely on the technical foul count, the team dynamic inside the locker room is flourishing. During this 123-point explosion, all 10 active Indiana players scored. Kelsey Mitchell poured in 23 points. Aaliyah Boston dominated the interior with 22 points on 71% shooting, and the bench unit provided a massive 47 points. Clark's 11 assists proved that no matter how intense the friction gets on the floor, her vision and trust in her teammates remain entirely unbothered.
Court, one went home smiling while the other ran to Threads to cry about it. I mean, why not? That's all they do on there anyway. Cry, 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 and Saniya can't be any different. Saniya Rivers, disgusting. Take a look at this. Saniya Rivers communicating with fans on Threads, disrespecting Caitlin Clark. This league seems to have some of the dumbest and least professional athletes in the world. Like Caitlin Clark told you, look at the scoreboard. This fan said, I'm glad you said something, though. We are all tired of her BS. You have class. Much respect. These people are delusional. These people just hate Caitlin.
Adding even more noise to an already chaotic week was the sudden explosion of off-court media commentary involving Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy. Portnoy, one of Clark's most vocal celebrity supporters, publicly went after UConn head coach Gino Auriemma over resurfaced comments Auriemma made about Clark's transition to the pros during a June episode of The Dan Patrick Show. The resurfaced remarks sparked intense debate among fans who felt the comments were dismissive, prompting Portnoy to launch a passionate public defense. Simultaneously, a segment of social media began heavily analyzing Clark's online activity, specifically pointing out her decision to follow Portnoy on social platforms and debating the broader cultural implications. While public figures and media personalities continue to clash over her brand, Clark has remained completely focused on the hardwood, allowing her game and her team's record to do the talking.
What if did Caitlin Clark take the time to go and report when Tiffany Hayes was egging on and inciting the black people that were threatening to physically harm her off the floor? Did she go and make it a big deal? No, she didn't. These players are disgusting at this point. Like that article, that hit piece is nasty. It's nasty. Okay. And apparently whatever, you know, the WNBA is such a joke. There's nothing that Kathy Engelberg could do to stop random.
The Indiana Fever are sitting at 16-10, holding the most explosive offensive ceiling in professional basketball. They have washed away weeks of shooting slumps with a historic 61% shooting night, and their superstar point guard is playing with an undeniable white-hot fire. But as the playoff race intensifies and every single game carries massive seeding implications, the margin for error has shrunk to zero. If Caitlin Clark receives her next technical foul, will her fierce competitive edge be remembered as the engine that drove Indiana's championship run, or the spark that temporarily derailed it?